Hello, and welcome to Tech Tuesday, presented by Delta Media Group, where we think it's always best to list homes with finished basements. Why, you ask? Well, because they're the best sellers. Seller. Get it? Get it. Sorry. Okay. So today, we are going to take a look at the customer engagement score, or really the replacement for the customer engagement score, which is now the lead quality score in the DeltaNet. So previously, we would look at some just various activity for a customer, and we would try to come up with a score for how engaged that lead is, and that's why we called it the lead engagement score. Since then, we have implemented some new functionality that actually runs a lead's activity through a machine learning algorithm that then produces a score based on how likely that algorithm believes that customer is to ultimately close. Now, the idea is that this machine learning algorithm is constantly being retrained based on, I shouldn't say constantly, is being retrained based on customer activity data and closing data that we get into the system. So it's using real world data to determine how likely a customer is to close based on the kind of activity that we see them performing in the system, or on the website, really more. So, to see that, now we actually display it in a couple of different places, and kind of depending on where you're looking at it is how you can work with it. But initially, it shows up on the customer profile pages. So we'll just go here to the Customer Center. Now I could type Customer Center up here at the top, or I could click on CRM to get to this page. And now once I'm here, I can click on one of my hot new customers there, and you can see that this particular customer has a lead quality score of 60. So the way the system works is when the customer makes their very first request, or they initially make a request in the system, it applies an initial score to them. And then after it's built up a little bit of data on that customer's activity, it will feed all that data into that machine learning algorithm and come out with a score. And then it'll continually update the score from there based on the kind of activity they perform. So initially, you'll see a score, just kind of a solid round number like this. But then after about a week, you'll see the score for that customer change. And then each week, a new week's worth of customer data, or data for that particular customer, is fed into that algorithm, and their score is updated. So keep in mind that it won't update immediately based on their activity, but every week they'll get a newly updated score. And that score, based on the studies that have been done so far, has a lot of promise. So the first place that it shows up here is on these customer profile pages, and the idea is if I just wanted to pull up a customer, or if I just processed a new lead from an existing customer, a new request from an existing customer, I would land on their profile page here, and I would see their score right up at the top. Now, in addition to that, I can go to the customer list, and I can actually sort the list based on that score as well. So if I go to the list here initially, I'm going to add a column here, and I'll just type in score. So there's my lead quality score. We'll close that out. Now you can see I have a lead quality score column here. From there, if I want to sort this out, and you can see it's actually already sorted now that I've chosen that, but I can sort it differently by just clicking that button. Now, just so happens that I'm returning my entire customer database of all test leads in this list, so that's why I've got a lot of NAs here. But the idea is that you can use the rest of the filters here in customer list to narrow this list down however you'd like. So you could just narrow down those that have had requests in the last 30 days, for example. So I would go here under activity, request made, last 30 days. I've got my lead quality score in there, search, and now you can see I've got scores for customers that have just made a request in the last 30 days. And then from here, I can use any of the functionality in customer list to handle these leads however I'd like. So you can see my scores are pretty low, which I would expect because they're all test leads, kind of made for a purpose. But if I go down here, I can select a few of these, and I can open, and now I've got them all opened up in bulk. And because they were my customers with the highest quality score, I know that these are good customers for me to reach out to, potentially speak with and work with, and ultimately get a closing from. And we'll just click on profile here. There we go. And then from here, I can just next through each one. So use the information here to make a phone call, if they had a phone number in here, or send them an email or whatever I'd like. Click Add New Note to leave a note related to that call, and then click Next to move on to the next one. So it's as simple as that. You can now pull up and sort your lists based on this score whenever you'd like. You can also narrow down by groups, or any of the other things that are available to you here on Customer List, and then sort that out by score, and then reach out to those customers accordingly. So that's where you can now see the lead quality score. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out to support@deltagroup.com or give us a call and we can walk you through with this or whatever else you need. Thanks a lot.